Hey there, friends. I hope that you're having an excellent Monday. It sure has been a pretty day here. We're heading for some weather over the next few days, though. So I got out today and ran a bunch of errands and did a bunch of stuff. Tomorrow it's like rain, and then Wednesday is snow, and then Thursday is wind. So, but today was absolutely gorgeous, and I hope that you had a beautiful Monday. Got a couple new things ready to go into the shop, and I should have these listed a little bit later on this afternoon, this evening. It's evening now. Gosh, the day just kind of flies by. I've got my watch out here, and it's like 7:05. I can't believe it. Geez, the days just fly by, don't they? This is a fabric that we've worked with before. It has those sweet little peonies on it and a beautiful butterfly. I have not seen butterflies yet, but I'm very anxious to see those little babies. My Lenten rose is in bloom. The daffodils are up, and I even noticed that I have a tree that has little periwinkles around it, and the little periwinkles are up as well. So that it's just very cheerful to see those flowers this time of year after a dark and cold winter. This little book is it's bound very, very simply with what I like to call a candy strand, and that's when I just pick up random beads and put it on the bead strand. It seems to work out, and it's just kind of fun. It gives the book a little bit of a whimsical aspect to it. So let's take a look inside. And let's see, let's start. I do have some sweet little ID tags for books, and I'm going to use these as long as they hold out. This is from a Graphic 45 collection. It says, "This book belongs to," and of course you are just welcome to put your name in there, because of course this book will belong to you. We have our storybook right here to encourage you to think about story. You know, spring is a time of rebirth and regeneration, renewal, regrowth. So what's going to be your new story? And don't tell me you don't have one, because I think that we all have, we all have things in our lives that we wish we could change, that we wish were different. So write yourself a new story in your storybook right here, and then tell me all about it. I want to hear your new story. Our first signature starts with a thank you note. Now this is a blank card, so you can pull it out and write someone a thank you note if you would like to do that. I think every season is a season of gratitude, and the more gratitude, the better. I love to start these books out with pretty papers and pretty colors. We have a butterfly wing here, flowers, something for you to color. Oh my goodness, it's the Happy Bunny Rabbit season. I love rabbits. When my little boy was a toddler, he was in a daycare, and his daycare only had like 10 kids, and it was a very, I like crossed my fingers to get him in, and luckily I was able to get him in that little specialized daycare. But he had so much fun there, and the daycare owner owned rabbits, and she kept them in little hutches outside of her house, and that's where the kids played, so they could like look at the rabbits, and even one day they were allowed to hold the rabbits and things like that, so it's really sweet. I do like to put holiday elements in these journals, because I think it denotes a passage of time. A journal should be a journey. To me, it should not only be pretty to look at, it should be functional, but it also should have something to capture your imagination. It should be captivating. It should be beautiful to look at. It should be handy to have. It should have information in it. I think that information kind of sparks your creativity as well. This is a sweet little fox right here, and he's all dolled up for Christmas. This is a package of goodies for you to play with, and it's kind of a loaded down package. I think that there are ATCs in there, there are fabric scraps, there are paper scraps, just all kinds of things for you to immediately have fun with. And I like that too. I like for you to be able to grab this book and make something, you know, without a hassle, y'all. You don't have to get out all your art supplies. You just have to take out this little book and some glue and go to town. Just do it, as the Nike slogan says. If you're having a creative conundrum and don't know what to do, take out your flow journal and just work in your flow journal. That's a real creativity booster right here. I've got some puffy heart-shaped stickers for you. More coloring sheets. I love those coloring sheets. They're so pretty. A little skinny book for you, and I think this is a little inky book right here. Got some inky papers for you. I love this Tim Holtz. It says nests and eggs, and I really do love that I love this kind of off-white, black and white sort of print right there. Familiar birds described and illustrated. Love it. I don't know if you guys watch cooking shows or not. Sometimes on the weekend I'll watch something like Martha Stewart, you know, or Lydia Cooks, or those kinds of Cook's Country, Milk Street. I really do love those shows. And I'm always fascinated by Martha Stewart's eggs. Anytime she's baking, she has like her hens lay eggs, and man, they are magnificent eggs, really pretty eggs. More Tim Holtz papers for you. I just think they're so pretty. We've got our bird element here. I love birds because they remind me of freedom and flying away. And, you know, don't we all kind of have that desire every now and again to kind of fly away? This is a tree swallow and a purple marlin. This is canvas paper for you to play with. I ran across a bunch of canvas paper. I thought, oh, I bet my people would love to play with that. This is a story about a yellow shafted flicker. A mini pocket for you with mini tags. Something to play with. This says April showers bring May flowers, and March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. We're supposed to have 60-mile-an-hour winds again Thursday after a day of snow Wednesday. So, it'll be a nice day to just settle in with some coffee and get some journals done. That's how I'm looking at it, y'all. I am not looking at it like I'm going to hate it. I'm going to embrace the cold, because the next season is spring, which, you know, the first day of spring is actually Wednesday when it's supposed to snow. I got a few Farmer's Almanacs, and man, oh man, I love me a Farmer's Almanac. This is an article about advice to a young man that was originally printed in 1891 in the Farmer's Almanac. Rules for making a wife happy and for making a husband happy. The Art of Kissing. How to Preserve a Husband from 1967. Just a lot of fun and facts and good information in the Farmer's Almanac. So I was really very happy to get these and be able to utilize them and put them in here for you guys to read. I also love the illustrations. Aren't those neato? More papers for you. Little birds. Gotta have little birds. And a little red bird. I think Diane says, Tammy, this is not a cardinal. And I'm like, okay, because she knows more than I do, of course. I don't know my birds, but yes, you know, now I'm looking at that. That does not look like a cardinal. So we'll call it a red bird. Thanks, Diane. Okay, and we've got a beautiful green star in here to denote that it's spring. Happy, happy spring. More happy rabbits. This paper is amazing, y'all. I think this was a graphic 45 paper, but it shows the North Pole up here. I like anything with maps on it. And you know, when we're thinking about maps, we're thinking about our place on the map. So we might be thinking about home and how we decorate our homes. I like the, this is from a 1988 Colonial Homes magazine, and this is from a 1977 plant magazine. I like looking at the different fabrics that are on the furniture, and you know, remember when we were all about the rattan and we liked our white rattan? It's kind of crazy to think about now. I like the, I'm not an interior design person at all. My house is designed like half between a farmhouse and a frat house and an art studio is kind of what it is. But it, you know, it works for us, and I think that's, you got to find your personal style. You can't buy your personal style like at Target or somewhere like that. This is a lovely picture of an old farm homestead near Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Very pretty pictures, and pictures are inspiring, especially this time of year. This is a little coffee element. It says the doors of wisdom are never shut. Isn't that the truth? I think the doors of exploration are never shut either. I think that it's fun to explore your world. This is from the 1962 Family Circle magazine, all about serving some Van Camp's pork and beans with some hot dogs here. This is a full-size ad. Someone asked me about upside down pages, and I don't know how to get a full magazine page or a full page of information to you without getting an upside down page every now and again. But I'm hoping that you guys can kind of can see it's an upside down page and understand why. And I love for you to get a whole page. That's why I don't cut things up and make them look very uniform. You know, to me, this is, it's like I said, a journal is a journey. So we're just going through a journey, and sometimes we're going to get upside down pages. This is a wonderful article about Vermont maple syrup and how people gather the maple syrup. Oh my Lord, it is just a really astounding thing to read. And I also love the coffee cups over here, and I thought that went really nicely with our little coffee element as well. This is also from the Farmer's Almanac. It says, go ahead and eat those weeds. The woods and fields are a table always spread. Henry David Thoreau. It may seem like a narrow and refined specialty to some, but wild crafting couldn't be more universal to humans. From a time before people were even people, early hominids learned what edible and wild plants would safely feed and heal them, and shared that information with each other. The term wild crafting comes from the Old English word wild crofting, which means farming the woods. So it's a super interesting article. You know, I have eaten dandelion greens, and they're quite nice. I don't put any sort of fertilizer or anything on my lawn, so I'm okay with eating dandelion greens out of my lawn. But you just may find this very interesting. I did, and it was urban foraging is what they call it. You know, before we had grocery stores, that's really, you know, we're kind of hunter-gatherers. And, you know, I think about, I love the movie, with Drew Barrymore, oh God, I can't remember the name of the movie now, but she is out wild crofting, you know, with the pigs, and she's gathering nuts and things like that. It's a great image, and what I thought about when I read about wild crofting, you know, out in the woods. This is a dwarf drachnia, and another 1988 Colonial Living magazine piece, a pocket full of posies for you to play with. And I love putting kind of prompts in here, and I don't make a lot of this because I think that it's, you know, as you're going through the journal, if something sticks out at you and you do want to write about it, then that's kind of your own personal prompt, right? But I thought I would point out in these little books that I do put prompts in here for you. This one is about autumn. Oh, hello, autumn, you're looking good. And I've got a little maple leaf here. It's a very sparkly little maple leaf. Write this down, and there's a skinny book for you to write something down in. A tag for you to play with. These are great border strips, man. They look almost like lace. They are so pretty. So I knew that you guys could make a really pretty page with this blue and the blue bunny, offset with a little bit of green and a little bit of border strip. You guys are super creative. You're going to make something beautiful. I just know it. We've got some vintage text pages as well as this super cool kind of an index card thing that went along with a photography album. So you kind of, let me see if I can find it, date, subject, occasion, place, and comments. And that's kind of how you commentated your photo album, you know, before we had like digital everything. That was how people, you know, talked about their vacation. They showed slides or they showed their photo album, and that was how we did things, you know, old-fashioned way. Nothing wrong with that, folks. Nothing wrong with that at all. I love the juxtaposition of all of this white. This is new. These are Chinese letters. Very super cool, very old. We've got 1952 French dictionary right here. That is quite lovely. I believe this is a German dictionary. Got some Swedish text for you. I think over here we've got Spanish. I love the flashcards. A picture day. Remember those at school? Picture day. That's always a fun memory. I did not like that at all. This is a little card that says, "Life is beautiful. Enjoy the ride." And this is a napkin that says the same thing, "Enjoy the ride," and it's got a bicycle on it. It's really sweet. I know that you can put those two things together and make something fun out of it. This is an old playing card. You can alter that as well. A resist piece that's always fun to play with. You can hit it with some marker or watercolors or whatever you want to play with there. More bunny rabbits, because gosh, it is the season for bunnies. I can't wait to see our bunnies. We have one that lives under the shed in the back that just drives the dogs insane. Mia will get herself wedged under the shed, and somehow or another the bunny is backed way into the corner. Maybe she digs a hole or something back there, but oh, it sends Mia into absolute hysterics. We got a little bit of fashion for you. This is an article that is also from the Farmer's Almanac about using 3D printers to actually make clothes, which I think is incredible. This is a piece from the J. Peterman catalog. It's called Pretty in Paint. It's about an artist and how she doesn't really have a home, and she goes from place to place, and she's very happy, and she's very bohemian, and she's very gypsy, and she wears tassels on her clothes. Of course. We got a fabric page for you. This is the cover of the 1962 Family Circle magazine, a vintage Christmas card that says Barbara and Bob Utman. This is from a collection, 50s-ish collection, 60s, getting into that vintage era. This is a great prompt. How does your garden grow? How does your garden grow? Does it grow with a lot of weeds? Does it grow with a lot of sunshine? Does it grow even when the weather's bad? That's a really good writing prompt, y'all. How does your garden grow? Back here, because we're talking about gardens and because this little book is a garden theme, I put a wooden key right here for you so you can alter that, and also some pretty papers that you could actually use these as decoupage and decoupage on that key, on this little wooden key. I'll have this book in the shop a little bit later on this evening. I thought the closure was really neato on this one too. I do really love the hearts. We've had this fabric before, y'all, but we've never had John Steinbeck, and I love John Steinbeck. I read Grapes of Wrath and Of Mice and Men quite early, probably for high school. For a high school English class or something like that. Kind of a big John Steinbeck fan. The beading on this is it's almost masculine, and I thought it kind of went along with our cover art. You can also see Ernest Hemingway and Harper Lee on this cover. I like these big marble beads. I think they're really super cool. So let's take a peek inside. John Steinbeck, he was born in 1902, and he lived most of his life in Salinas, California, or around that area. His mom was a school teacher, and his dad was the treasurer of Monterey County. This is a skinny book for you. This is your storybook. Tell yourself a new story. Like I said a while ago, you know, spring is a great time to kind of reinvent yourself. And you know what? It's okay if you do. It is just fine for you to reinvent yourself and be different. If you want to be different, then that's up to you. And I don't think there's a better way to get that process started than by doing, as my art angel friend says, some gentle writing about it. You know, we don't have to be like, well, I should do this, and I'm going to have a timeline, and I'm going to do this by this date. You know, be gentle with yourself, soul. Be gentle and easy, and just experiment a little bit with some writing and see if you can come up with, you know, some easier ways to say things. Wouldn't it be nice if, or list positive aspects. List those things that you love about yourself. And I am positive, y'all. You can sit and list at least 10 things that you love about yourself. Self-love is okay, y'all. We just need to practice it. Again, I really do like to kind of go through the holidays because I think it's fun. What's your favorite Christmas? Did you have a favorite Christmas? Did you not like Christmas? It's very curious to go back and kind of capture those childhood memories and, you know, maybe even our adult memories. This is about Halloween. I love this ledger paper. This is a Seven Gypsies ledger paper. And magnolia. We're going to be seeing magnolias really soon. My little magnolia tree does not bloom, but we have so many in the neighborhood that do. I don't know what happened to my little magnolia tree. She just doesn't bloom. Not sure what has happened there. An article from the Farmer's Almanac, Trash to Treasure. I knew you guys would love that. I like these little free library stations. Have you guys seen those? They're wooden receptacles, and they have books you can borrow, and you can share books. I just think that is just a very neat and loving and kind idea. We've got a little bird here, and she is done on some staff paper. A pocket of things for you to play with, and for some reason or another, the number 6. Number 6 just wanted to jump in there. A little bit of Once Upon a Time for you. More cards to play with. These are like Project Life cards, so you can write on them. Halloween. Geez, does it really seem that long since Halloween? Oh gosh, the year's speeding by. ATCs for you to play with and a library card. This is a sticker, so you can play with your library card and then stick it on something. It's a library card and a pocket. This is sweet. It says, you live as long as you are remembered. So that's another great writing prompt. What do you think you'll be remembered for? And we all hope it's for good things and not like those quirky little parts of our personality that we wish we could sometimes monitor sometimes. This is a bird element, red-bellied woodpecker. A little mini tag, mini pockets, and mini tags for you. Getting back to John Steinbeck, I kind of forgot where we were going with this. In 1919, he graduated from high school and he went to Stanford University, and he never did graduate. In 1925, he went to New York City. In 1926, he went back to California and was a handyman for 4 years. Crazy, isn't it? Had to be hard to try and make a living as an artist. Especially during those like wild, kind of uncertain economic times. I love this, y'all. If you're looking for updates, this is from the 1983 Country Living magazine. This is like a compact stereo system, kind of a hot tub. Look at this. It's a percolator, y'all. It's a Mr. Coffee. I mean, these were like cutting edge things. These were very cutting edge in 1983. It's really neat. It's called the Town Crier. That's the section. This is a centipede plant. I remember when I had one of these. I think my mother-in-law had one as well. Just a little bit about home. Birdies and home. This is a sweet book, y'all. This is a pocket full of posies for you to put together. This was made by my friend Judy that teaches daycare. Her daycare students put it together because they were recycling their Christmas cards. They did a great job on these, you guys. Just so sweet. This is a playing card that also has a deer on it. Apparently, deer element just wanted to be in here. In 1960, John Steinbeck wrote Travels with Charlie, and he traveled the United States with Charlie, who was his poodle dog. And he discovered, that the nation that he wrote about so eloquently, he had never even traveled to. So this is just a little travel brochure from Tennessee. Now, I tell you, when he got to the South, he was fascinated by mobile homes. And he thought that the mobile home was an incredible and wonderful concept because he wrote about rootedness. You're being rooted to a place. But, if you have a mobile home, you can kind of essentially pick up your home and move it somewhere else. But he was very intrigued with the whole idea of mobile homes. Because John Steinbeck was born in California, I have a little bit of San Francisco travel right here. Film and theater, film festival, first-run films, things like that. This is a map of Indiana. We're reminded that John Steinbeck traveled the entire United States in 1960, which is just really remarkable when you think about it. And with that little doggy, that had to have been fun. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. And that is a quote by John F. Kennedy. It's a very sweet reminder. And of course, there's plenty of room on the back for you to write about that. Papers for you to play with. Don't forget, you've got lots of papers. You've got lots of funky fibers up here. Lots of hairy paper clips. This is from the 1983 Country Living magazine that featured books. And you think about books now, and we read on computer, and we read on a tablet, or we might read books on our phone, and we don't see books very much anymore. I mean, we go to the library, that's true. Do you guys prefer that? Do you prefer to read on a tablet? I prefer the book. I like books. I love books. And this is a little bit of Swedish text for you. Oh, I'm sorry, French, Swedish, and German we've got going here. I love the colors of the old text pages. They're so pretty. I love this card. It's a vintage card. I don't know why it just wanted to be in here. I looked at several to go in here, and it just seemed to really fit. It's an Easter card to a husband, and it's signed by our friend Kathy, and I think it is Kathy, C-A-T-H-I-E, by the way. I think it's 1965, but we can find that in just a minute. The 1942 Red Cross Nursing Manual. This is from the 1962 Family Circle magazine. It's a photo of a doctor. And, you know, if we're talking 1960, then we got to talk the Audell's DIY 1960 Kitchen Manual. And this is a picture of a modern kitchen in 1960, which I really do love. John Steinbeck was in, I forget the name of the organization, but it's a precursor to the CIA. He was a World War II war correspondent, so it's highly likely that some of his letters home were written in code. So I thought it would be fun to include the 1950 50 things for boys and girls to do. You know, it doesn't have anything about sitting in front of a TV or playing on a cell phone. It's things like how to tie knots, how to write code, things like that. This is a piece from 1947, some of our Nielsen ephemera, some of our beautiful envelopes that we've had to work with. This is the other part of the 1962 Family Circle Doctor thingy here. And we've got a German dictionary, a French dictionary. Here's the card. Yes, it's from Kath. It's from 1965. It's just so cute. I love the beatnik imagery there. And of course, you know, John Steinbeck was actively writing in the 60s when the whole, you know, beat generation was happening. Got some very pretty papers right here for you to play with. Numbers and letters. I love numbers and letters. I like this because it reminds me of the Craftsman houses. If we're talking John Steinbeck, then we're talking, you know, vintage office stuff because he would be writing. This is a phone call logbook. An actual check register, a stenographer's pad, a timesheet. I don't think Steinbeck ever had to worry about this, though. He was actively employed as a handyman, and he worked on farms when he was young. We have some calculation paper. This is called cross-section paper. It's so beautifully aged. I knew you guys would enjoy that. This is the high-tone typing paper. And, of course, Steinbeck did a lot of that. This was before computer typing and that kind of thing. In 1939, The Grapes of Wrath was published. And in 1940, Steinbeck won the Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award for Grapes of Wrath. In 1947, he toured Russia, and he wrote East of Eden. 1960, he did Travels with Charlie. 1962, he received a Nobel Prize. In 1964, he received the Medal of Freedom. And in 1968, he passed away. He had a heart attack and died. So that's a little look at John Steinbeck. And I know we kind of were nuts about this pen fabric here. It's kind of dwindling down. I don't have a lot of it left, but is it not beautiful? It's so pretty. Okay, guys, I'm going to have these in the shop a little bit later on this afternoon. Evening. Sorry, it's evening. I hope you guys had a wonderful Monday. Thank you so much for listening to me yammer, and thank you for supporting my Etsy shop. It means the world to me. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.